Hey, greetings, everybody. Welcome to the One True Divine Feminine and Psychic Investigations Tarot, where we spread light and love and angelic vibes all across the universe. Sometimes we also solve crimes, and everybody's welcome here. All paths, all faiths, all colors, all races, everybody's welcome. We're going to do some homemade cards today. And I'm a learning individual just like everybody else, right? So I want to begin by saying that there are literally dozens of divine masculines involved in this case, dozens of them. So nobody should make assumptions as to who is doing what, because more often than not, I don't even know, right? So there was a website where a lot of them were gathered, dozens of them. There was a sniper, there were 3 hitmen, there were stalkers, there were gang members, motorcycle riders, truck drivers by the plethora, different family members from different families, right? So not just even one family, from different families. And also, of course, those who fake married me and others. So literally dozens of divine masculines. So you can't make any assumption on who's doing what because the case is large and complicated, right? So don't guess as to who is doing things. Now, also, there have been some obsessions. But what are obsessions? Well, they come in many forms. Some people are obsessed with gang stalking others. Some people have an obsession for being in your shower with cameras. Some people have an obsession with foot fetishes, and some people just have an obsession with, harassing, right? Because it's kind of fun and sadistic. But they come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. And, you either have one or you don't, right? And for those that are bothersome, unless you're really truly getting a lot of pleasure out of that, I would just kind of stop with that because, anyhow, I would. Now, and some of them just make me feel hunted, to be honest. That's the feeling that I get when I hear. But of course, I think that's part of the fun for, folks is to make me feel hunted. But nonetheless, don't make assumptions over who is doing any of this. And please don't other people, right? We're all having a difficult time right now. I don't want people to feel bad about themselves. People are going through a lot of heartache, a lot of turmoil, a lot of family trouble, my family too, right? I don't want people to have more trouble in their lives. Okay. This has been hard enough as it is. And I think we should be at the point where we're trying to heal and do better, right? Now, I have said that there's sociopathy involved. And I would say anytime there's a murder plot, right, with hitmen and kidnappers and bury you alive stuff, there's going to be sociopathy, right? Now, where it belongs, well, that belongs to the people who were involved as the hitman, etc. And I don't know, in truth, which divine masculines were all trying to kill me. There was more than one, right? And you don't know either. So you shouldn't make any assumptions. And again, this is to ensure that people don't other people when you don't really know the full story of things. So the main point is don't make assumptions about stuff because you could be wrong, right? I've been wrong and I'm in the middle of this. I've been wrong more than once. So, a divine masculine is one of dozens of people. So now I do want to talk about this because, again, I have my own health issues, as does my husband. I am really sorry for the illnesses and the troubles that other people are having, more than I can say. Why? Because we're all human. We can all understand what it means to suffer, to not be well. And I know people are going through a tough time. And I'm not happy about it, right? I'm actually very sad. Why? Because I know what it means to suffer, and it's terrible. And in fact, neither my husband or I's heart has worked well for 6 years because of the stuff that we've been put through. And literally, both of us have post traumatic stress disorder from what we went through. So I do understand what it means to go through an extended period of dark night of the soul. And I'm not happy that people are suffering. It's terrible. None of this should have ever happened, right? So, but there's absolutely no triangle, none whatsoever, nor will there ever be. So you need to get that in your head. That's just hogwash, right? Um, but the key point is, I don't want people to be pushed aside or othered or made to feel bad about themselves, right? Because people are already feeling bad enough about some of the things that they've done. I know there's one Scorpio who's coming to grips with some things. And, there were more parts to that deal. So, but I have already forgiven, right? I have. And I hope that you can heal yourself from what ails you so that you never do this to another person. And though I have forgiven, I do not know how to heal myself, right? So I'm still working on that, but I don't bear malice. But we can't have people like that in jobs where they can abuse their power and abuse humans. So I sent an IC3 form in today, and my directions on stuff are very explicit, right? I don't want a big party. That's the other thing. I really don't. I've never been just like a huge party person where, go and meet everybody and all, I really, if there's going to be any kind of get together, I want it to be with just purely the genuine people who have loved and helped and supported me through this, right? I don't want the people that have harmed me, that are still harming me or lying or cheating or stealing behind my back and pretending. I don't need to meet these people. Now, good people who sent love and support and uplifting messages and encouragement and information I needed, sure, but I don't want to be anywhere near people who have harmed me. It just is what it is. It's nothing personal, right? I'm not into big parties. If you guys want to have a separate big party so that nobody feels othered, please, you can have all the parties you want. But I don't want to go to one like that. I just want people there who love and care for me. So if you have a big party, I want y'all to have a great time. I'm not going to come. Right. I just want, a nice select group of wonderful humans there. And whether it happens or not, it doesn't even matter to me at this point. I already have a lot of gratitude in my heart for all the help that I have received. Right. And I try to beam that out to people to let folks know how much it's meant to me, how much you've touched my life as strangers to help me through the worst thing you could ever imagine. And if I get to meet you, that's wonderful. And if I don't, I don't. But what I don't want is to be in a room where, people who have trafficked me are in the room. I really, I don't want to be there. So, all right. Now, I've jokingly said Dr. Evil, which Austin Powers is one of my favorite funny characters. But I want you to think about who Dr. Evil could be in this case, right? The dozens of divine masculines off of the website, the truckers, the gangbangers, the people that are riding around my neighborhood that I keep getting warnings of the white GMC and the motorcycle. It could be the sniper. It could be the poisoner. It could be the gangsters. It could be the mob. Because, wow, we've got all of this stuff going on. So there's more than one Dr. Evil. You shouldn't attribute this to any particular person, though. But I will say, at least right now, we have a track record in our country that really just blows chunks for women. And that has got to change. And I know there's a really good Scorpio who's helping with this. And I really appreciate it, right? Because this kind of stuff can never, ever, ever happen again. Never. And I will ensure it. And in fact, I'm just going to put out a warning because, I got stuck in the middle of this. My family was the one that got harmed. I'm a former rape victim. And I've got them looking into this and they are going to dig and they're going to find stuff. And it's not about malice or getting even. It's about cleaning up the universe so that we have a government we can be proud of. So everybody has a party that they can be proud of, so that we are not making money in filthy, human, degrading ways. So they're going to dig, and I guarantee you they're going to find stuff. So we need to be on top of this so that we can find decent ways to earn money to do the things that we want, because I'm going to tear this all down. Well, I'm not. I just put it into the universe, and the FBI is going to do it, right? Because this kind of stuff cannot exist. And we're in the Pluto return cycle. So whatever seeds we set in the next year or two, that seeds for the next 248 years. And I do not want this stuff going forward. So whoever's been taking money off of the trafficking and the pedophile stuff, you better get yourself ready, because the hammer's coming, and I'm just trying to warn you. Okay? And it's nothing personal. It's all about cleaning up the universe and being able to look at our country and feel proud and know that we are not doing things to harm human beings to earn money. And it tends to be women and children a lot, but my husband was abused as well. And it's a good thing he doesn't know, because if he did, I can't even tell you. I won't tell him, because, yeah. So anyhow, this has got to stop, and I don't care how far it goes or what it digs up, and you shouldn't care either, because we shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff in the universe. So get ready, because there's some money streams that are going to get shut down, and it's all for good, because this is filth, and it will not pass. I will not let it pass. So you better get your big boy and girl pants on if you've been taking money off of this, because it's going to come out. Just a big warning, okay? And this is all about cleaning up the universe so that we have a more decent country that honors human beings. Okay, you can tell I'm a little passionate about that. Now, I have mentioned crazy lifestyles. And how many of us have had a crazy lifestyle at one time or other? Just being a professional at times is enough to give you a crazy lifestyle or an insane lifestyle. I've worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week for 4-6 months in a row. That's a crazy lifestyle right there. Insane. Now, some people get an insane lifestyle from partying. Some people have it because they're juggling both work and family. So there's plenty of crazy to go around. Again, don't attribute this to anything unique. Now, again, because I do care about the people who are suffering, even the ones who are still causing me trouble working, stealing all of the letters of what they've stolen. So I haven't gotten a single letter, so they can continue to live where they're not supposed to live and do all that stuff, right? I still have compassion because, again, I know what you're going through, or I've got a sense of it, and I'm really, really, truly sorry, right? And I'm going to work on being more compassionate and not being monstrous, right? Because what happened to me could turn me into a monster if I allowed it to, and I'm not going to. And so I'm going to fall back on my Buddha nature and instead work harder at being compassionate while also encouraging others to do the same, right? And continuing to trying to block me from work is inhumane. Snuffing the light out of another human being is murder, right? So certain things do have to stop. And I do need to work just like everyone else. I'm not rich. I'm not privileged. And even if I was privileged, I would be sharing it with a lot of people because I don't need an ostentatious lifestyle. So anyhow, where I was going with this is those who have karma that they need to burn off and you want to lessen the time. Here's the number one ways I'm going to suggest for you to do this to help yourselves. I want to know who the official person in the living room was, which I think equates to who paid to have me taken out. Okay, that's top on my list. I want the name, how much money, right? Okay. Now, in my hometown, a whole slew of government officials were bought off to help with trafficking me and to destroy my family, to steal my house, probably to move into my house, steal my pension, because I know somebody was trying to do that, empty all my accounts, drain me dry, and leave me like an empty husk on the sidewalk. And the officials in my home state thought that was a great idea, and they took suitcases of money to help with that. So the next thing you can do to help yourselves is to, on an IC3 form, rat out who you paid here in town, how much, et cetera, right? And then they'll have that for their karma. And then the last thing is, I want every contact you have of every secret society member, what crimes they've done, and how they've harmed people, and all about the little book where you write people's names when you snuff their lights out. And you're going to expose as much of this as you can. Why? Because there's been a lot of human suffering, right? A secret society should not be causing this kind of human suffering. It's not godlike, it's not decent. And a lot of it seems to be happening to subvert the justice system and to make rich, very, very, very rich people richer at the expense of the 99%, some of whom of us went through hell and back to help save our country. And we're on the ground for 5 years suffering, 6 years now. And everything that was coming our way just, got stolen by rich people because, it's all about the 1% right now. So I want their names, their crimes, and what they did. And every trafficker, every single person that trafficked me on their way out the door. 1, they need to be fired. 2, they need to list on an IC3 form everything they know about the secret society. And I would like them all to be charged with trafficking so that they don't ever try to do this again. Some of these people have been doing this for a very, very, very long time and getting away with it because it's padding people's coffers, right? No more. So that's what I want. And I want every person involved in trafficking me. That's what I want. And don't send anything my way until that's all done, right? Don't send anything until that's done, right? So that's my deal. They need to be fired. They need to be charged. They need to cough up their secret society contacts. And that will help to clean up the universe and help me to feel like, people are not working in the government that are going to cause egregious bodily and spiritual harm to people with filth. Okay, so that needs to occur. Now, again, I am so sorry for the suffering that people are going through, and I do feel sorry for whoever the Scorpio is. I don't know who he is, the one that's low vibing. I'm sure you've had to face, stuff, and as I have, and I hope you heal. I hope and pray with all my heart that you get the help you need to break the curse that you have. I really do. Because it's not enough to just lose a job. It's about healing the spirit. Because if you don't heal the spirit, you come back with the same thing and sometimes even worse. So you have to get healing for what happened when you were young, right? That caused all this trauma, right? And then brought it into my house. And I'll be honest, I don't think I'll ever heal from this, but I have forgiven. And I'm trying to help clean up the universe with this. And so I do hope you're successful in whatever you do next. I hope you're prosperous. I hope your spirit heals. I hope you can find a positive way forward and never harm another person like that ever, ever again. So, all right, because I recognized the last few days, I still am hurt. I'm still reeling from what happened to me, and I've lashed out some because, I'm so hurt still. But I do not want to be the monster. I don't want to reflect back the evil that was put onto me. So I'm going to work harder at practicing kindness and compassion, which is very much a Buddhist and a Christian thing. I'm going to try very hard. You guys could try too. I don't want to hear any more about obsession stuff, for example. It just scares me. So unless that's the whole point, just, stop. And also, I want to say, I've heard people get triggered when they read my energy readings. They are not aimed at anyone specific. I'm an astrologer. Astrologers read the energy. The symbols all have meaning, and it's like reading a roadmap, okay? And the energy is what the energy is, right? I don't make it up. It's like, whatever. What does that mean? That's part of the story. So none of it that's being said is meant to cause harm. It's just, here's what's coming, right? So, and if it does trigger you, then just please click off, okay? It's not meant to cause turmoil. And if it is, then please just don't watch, because I don't want people to have a harder time or life than they are right now, okay? Now, those people who did traffic me, you do have to understand, I don't ever want to be anywhere near you ever for any reason. And again, it's nothing personal. It's just, I don't want people who would do that to another human being anywhere near me. So you just have to understand, I don't want to get together. I don't want to talk. I've already forgiven. I'm hoping you can forgive yourselves. I'm hoping you can find the healing that you need, but I don't want to be near you unless I absolutely have to. So now I want to talk about the secret society a little more, because somewhere, people are picking up things. It's either happening in a witch covens, which we need to get rid of out of our party, or it's happening in these little societies where they're being taught these, great little tricks so you can hit different levels of insanity. And one of the things that's been really just almost enough to bully a human being to death are the copycats and the mirror spells. I want to just snuff out your human spirit, your body, your light, your creativity, and I'm going to copycat you and steal everything you're doing until there's nothing left of you. Now, does that sound godlike, right? And anybody who's being honest with themselves has to admit that sounds like murder, like human spiritual murder. And yet it continues to happen because, again, it's all witchy. So I would really love to see in our party to, again, what people do at home, that's one thing, right? Do whatever you want. But I would like to get the witchcraft out of our working spaces in the government so that it's not part of the practice of what's happening. And I would like it so people develop their own skills and energy. And I am told that I have a doppelganger that's roaming a city. I have a feeling it's the Stinky Hill. I used to say Shining Hill, but lately it's the Stinky Hill. And you know me, I'm honest to a fault, right? And that person, I'm told now, they look somewhat like me. They want to be me. They're still trying to hurt me on YouTube. They're still doing the witchy wand thing because it's really fun. And, maybe if you could just bully a human being to death, you could be them, right? However, it's already causing my life so much harm. And I'm me and you're you. And you need to develop you. And you're costing me, right? I have a book. This is my book, Betrayed. Somebody copyrighted my book. I'm told they went to court as me and won a case using my book. They won a court case, took the money. Oh, replace you spell, mirror on the wall. And I spent 4 to 5 years of my hard work when I was down on the ground. It was the only thing I was able to do, and the worst of it was to work on this book. So you took the one thing I was able to do, and then you said, I'm just going to steal that because I can, and I have the little witchy wand, and my little organization says that that's godlike to do that. So Betrayed is my book. Here it is. AOC has a copy. Now, lately, one of the things that's been happening at the library is they've rigged the D drive. So if I insert a thumb drive in there, it formats everything. So I think they're trying to get rid of the original, but I didn't put that thumb drive in there. And I have multiple copies of the book, various stages. AOC has a copy. The FBI knows it's my book because it's my story and they were saving it on the computer every day. And, I want the copyright lifted. I want the money back from the court case that you falsely won pretending to be me. And in fact, I would say you could double that, right? You could just double that. And then I could forgive this, right? I want an official letter, no longer under copyright, because eventually I'm going to find out who you are, and then I'm going to sue you, and I'm going to get it back anyhow. This is my book. This is my story. And you don't deserve to have this, right? But this is part of the witchcraft thing we have that's like so fun. It's just so fun, to try to replace another human being. But this is a very unique story, and it's mine. And it took me 5 years to write. And the same person, I'm told, may be one of the copycats who just wants to copy everything I do on YouTube as well, because they're still trying to be me. So, yeah, this was all about what happened in the 2016 election hack. I had a prologue. I talked about what happened in my telephone. I talked about how America was for sale, and through some of the organizations that we allow to collect money worldwide, and then they get funneled in. And that was things that I led people to check up on, so that we could stop the hostile takeover that was happening in our country. I talk about the international thugs that we were allying ourselves with. Then I talked about, like, the biggest sellout, Manafort, what he was doing, right? Here's the chapter right here. I went through how various other countries were aiding and abetting all this. I talked about Simeon, and he being on the FBI's most wanted list, right? And again, I don't know the name of the person who stole my book or won money out of my court case for herself so she could live a high society life off of my work. But since I don't know her, right? I don't know her name. How in the world could I have copies of my own book? And I have it on a thumb drive. I'm not putting it in the thumb drive here because I know that you guys have been tagging it. Now you've got it to the point that it's destroying everything I put in. Oh, yeah, I did Conspiracy Land. Then I did all kinds of research on, what's happening to women. I did research on various networks and news agencies that were allowing the Russian corruption to come through. And again, why did I do this? So we could plug all the holes, so we could protect our country, so we could stop this infiltration by international thugs. But again, this was all my work, right? That was me. That's not you. That's me. So again, let's see what else here. Oh, I talk about thug nations and how lately we're looking, way too much like Russia, and how we need to stop that. This was a good one. MAGA Madness, right? And again, I read dozens of books to write this. I did research, rewrote this, that, the other. And this is my work. This is my story, and I want it back. And so you need to undo the copyright. I want an official letter from whoever you copyrighted it with. I want an official letter. And you're going to return the money you won off the court case. In fact, you should just go ahead and double it for my trouble, right? Because I heard I got a proposal, but you guys hacked the email, so my book proposal went somewhere else. And I hadn't copyrighted it yet because I was waiting to see, if I was going to sell it. But now we're going to talk just a little bit more, because these are things that need to change. Okay. So I'm just putting this out there to my own party. Again, what you do at home, I could care less. But when you start bringing witches with evil intent into the workplace, with the intent to possibly kill another human being, and I do believe that was the absolute intent, and not with one person, but many, many people, all working in a concerted effort to bully one human being to death. I want the link between what people are doing at home, in their homes, and get this out of our government offices would be my preference. Right? I don't think we should have cameras in the house where we can cast spells on people and see if we can kill them. I just don't think that seems decent to me. And it's not becoming of a human-oriented party, right? So we got to solve the witchcraft problem. Now, that witchcraft problem could be coming from covens, or secret societies, because they have their little book and they're teaching spell work and all of this too. So they're kind of interlinked, right? And we also know that these people are earning money for titans, and they're raping money off of court cases by harming people with nasty pictures. So they're harming innocent children, and then no thought whatsoever to what they're doing to the adults they're sending it to, because they don't care, because it's all about how do we get the money. We don't care what we do to human beings, we just want the money. And this is why, and this is a big warning, and I'm telling you, I'm dead serious. Oh yes, I am. They're going to look into this and they're going to dig up some dirt, big time effing dirt, and it's going to look horrible. And I'm so sorry. I'm really heartbroken that this is happening. But if you've been taking money, the shitstorm's coming, baby. So get yourself ready. We cannot have this going on where we have judges and lawyers and cops all helping with trafficking human beings to earn money. Holy. Okay, so, and some of this mirror, mirror, I'm going to replace you and I'm going to be you stuff is coming out of this place. So as we expose this, and I do intend to expose this. Why? Because they've been all up in my business trying to kill me and replace me. We are going to start to solve this problem at the grassroots level with good people like Archangel Michael, etc., where you're going to learn that it's inhumane to traffic people for money. It's inhumane to try to replace people. You don't slander people to death to the point that you ruin their professional careers. You don't call people racist when they don't have a racist bone in their body. You're going to get rid of the crap. And in the meantime, I'm going to take down as many of you as I can. And it's just that simple. And it's nothing, not malice. There's no malice. It's just we cannot be earning money off of crotch. Let's get real, okay? Or children. This is not going to happen anymore. We're going to get rid of this. And oh yes, is it going to be ugly and painful? You better believe it. It never should have happened to begin with. Never. So get ready to clean up. I know it's not going to be easy, but if we go through the process and figure out a decent way to earn money, we will set seeds for the next 248-year cycle, right? And all I'm seeing so far out of this, some of these organizations, is amorality and a desire to completely subvert the justice system for rich people to steal money off of court cases. That's all I'm seeing. Is we're at the dirty hill, on the beacon on the dirty hill, and how do we get our hands on what is supposed to go to other people because they actually suffered and went through it, right? The 99%. So it's the 1%. Oh, I have 8 million in real estate, but I need another house, right? So we need different funding, right? And I know that there's more stuff going on, and I think I've pretty much figured out the Secret 7 business. I'll be honest, right? I'm horrified. I'm shocked. I would have never known or guessed, right? Half of those people were people I was communicating with. But again, if you just simply stole money, and you say you built an Aquarius, you built 2 houses with the money you stole, and I'm sure you're rich already too, and you maybe went to the credit union and stole money out of there because maybe you were getting my mail. I don't know. If all you did was steal from me, and you give it back, well, it's up to the FBI and law enforcement, right? I'm okay with it, right? If you just, I'll make peace, right? But that's if that's what all you did, right? Now, if you were on trafficking me, well, we got a big problem, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, the fake reality TV show, I want to talk about that because, again, these are Nazi style tactics, Secret 7 tactics, and they have got to stop. I'm sure it's illegal. It was done to basically torture me to death, and it nearly worked. And it wasn't funny. It was horrifying. And it nearly ruined my marriage, put me out of work for years. Um, this shall not pass. You clean up your shit. And I'll tell you what, I have a very strong sense that the same group of people went into Mary, High Priestess Intuition's house and set up cameras there. And why did they do that? They did it because she was providing information to the collective about the crimes that had been committed against them. Now, of course, if you were in on those crimes and you had made a lot of money by stealing from the 99% because you could, because you abused your power, and you thought, well, I'm just going to go voyeur everybody's crotch that I can. Well, as a result of her being tortured that way, she lost her children. Because somebody then, okay, witchy, we're going to send the pictures to Child Protective Services, and she lost her kids. Do you see how one thing leads to the other, to the other, to the other, to the point that everything begins to fall apart? Now, in my house, of course, you wired with a wireless connection my showers. So our showers were being broadcast worldwide, right? Our sex acts, our toilet time, all of this stuff. So that's pornography. That's sex trafficking. And I'm told you made an enormous amount of money off of that. Enormous. So, one, this is going to end. There are going to be new laws put in place. And the people who were involved in the Secret Seven, and let me tell you, you better start ratting yourselves out, because I've had a change of heart. I'm with Divine Masculine. I never want to meet a particular one, but I know he's helping to solve things. So what you think is hidden, I hate to tell you, folks, it's going to come out one way or the other. So, and it needs to come out. Why? Because we cannot have, no matter what you think a person did, even if I had been guilty of what you thought and I wasn't, we cannot have people porning in people's homes and selling it worldwide. So I also want the money back from that, all of it. And I want laws in place that this shall never pass again. And I want you to fix what you did to Mary. I want you to absolutely fix what you did to Mary. Do you understand? I mean, this is just filth beyond filth, and this shall not pass. So I know there are good people listening, right? And I'm doing this because I'm concerned about where we are in my country. I'm really concerned about my party. I'm concerned about the filth I'm seeing. I'm concerned about the corruption I'm seeing, and the complete lack of humanity in dealing with another person's body. Just complete, willful, disgusting lack of concern. So trust me, I'm going to cause a shitstorm the size of Kansas with this. Well, it's coming, baby. But I'm not doing it with malice. I'm doing it so that these things never happen again. Never happen again. Never happen again. And I don't care how many of you who've been profiting off of this and thinking it was great buying boats and RVs, it's going to come out. Oh, well, right? You cannot do this sort of thing. I can forgive plenty, right? But trafficking my family, this shall not pass again. And you're going to put laws in place that tighten this down so that this never occurs again. And you're going to fix what you did to Mary. And that just is what it is. Okay. And it's absolutely got to stop. I see you, Christine. And I'm sorry it's happening there too. Yeah, we've created this technology and we don't think about how it's actually hurting real people. And it's going to cause a shitstorm. And oh, wow. And if you were taking money off of it, you better put on your big boy and girl pants, because it's going to come out. And it needs to. And I'm so sorry if you've been one of the people that have been doing that. We need to get rid of these secret societies that have bought off judges and cops and everything to help traffic human beings to raise money. Come on, people. We need to be better than this. Okay? So, and again, I've made some verbal deals with people. The people that did this to me trafficked me. And I count the fake reality TV show as definite trafficking. You used our naked bodies and sold it. So the people that traffic me get fired, right? They get charged with trafficking so that they know and understand what they did. And they return the money that they made off of our bodies. Okay. And again, there's no malice here. It's got to stop. And I don't know how to even begin to heal from this. It's such a filthy thing. So again, I'm trying so hard again not to be the monster that was in my house, which was more than one of you. And so I'm having to work very hard at being compassionate while also saying this shall never occur again. And I know what's coming is going to be difficult and it needs to come out. So as everybody gets exposed, we need to expose more and more of this secret society. And again, if you guys weren't doing awful stuff like trying to replace human beings and traffic human beings, well, we wouldn't be here, right? Or steal from people, right? I had nothing to do with what happened. I solved the entire case, handed it over. Here's who did it. Here was the plot, worldwide, step by step guide to what happened. But of course, the witchy poo stole the book, right? So I want the book back. I want the trafficking to stop. And just know I have forgiven, but I want things fixed. So, and I know there's a really good Scorpio who's helping. And I'm sorry I haven't, had the niceties in me to I'm just still speaking from the gut, but I know there's a good Scorpio helping, and I'm very pleased to see that. Like, really pleased, because we need to be better than this. This shall not pass. Okay? All right, good. And I'm also at the same time going to try to be compassionate, because as people get discovered for what they've been doing, earning money, people are going to find themselves horrified at their own selves. And for that, I'm truly sorry. So it just is what it is. Okay. All right. Now I've said what I needed to about the book, the secret society, what's coming. And now we're going to do a little astrology. Okay. And it's simple stuff. And again, if you're triggered, please step off. I don't want to trigger people, right? I don't want people's lives to be worse. And please quit holding my mail, and please quit hacking me, because like everybody else, I have to work. And I've been putting up with this for 6 years, and it's utterly ridiculous, right? Okay, so today we're going to talk about what happens when Neptune hits the third house of your chart on a low vibe. So when Neptune's operating poorly in the third house of communications, confusion, diffused thinking both become the order of the day. This may not only impact our cognitive functioning, but also our speech, our travel plans, and our concentration, because all of these types of things are ruled by the third house with various messages. Now, if you work in an industry where your voice is used for making a living, such as newscasting, a radio show host, or a public speaker, you're going to have to work extra hard at this time to maintain both organization and flow in whatever you're saying. You're going to feel like you're lighted up, but you don't want that energy to be too diffuse, spreading out all over. And Neptune tends to diffuse things quite a bit. So you're going to just have to work extra hard at what you're saying. So be sure to double check all reports for errors, and plan out your travel routes carefully to avoid disruptions. You might even find that your mail goes missing at this time, or that telephone messages get garbled. Okay. Now, and if you're in school, you're going to have to work harder at maintaining focus on studies. You can't allow your mind to wander too much, right? Technology that once served you well, like computers, telegraphs, and stenography machines, could go haywire at this time. Business negotiations should be kept as clear and concise as possible, though this will likely pose a challenge when Neptune is low vibing in the third house. Getting help from tutors and sticking to a regime can also help you to keep on track. All right, now for some with this placement, you could actually find that Alzheimer's could settle in at this time. And I'm going to actually go back to, this card, the little confusion card here. You might get forgetfulness or just general brain fog. Your hands could become a little shaky at this time. And you should work really hard at warding off respiratory diseases, as they could become quite pernicious and clingy, like really hard to get rid of. Okay, now we're ready for this one. Rumors spread about town and at school or amongst siblings and cousins could cause a lot of ill will in the community if you are not careful when Neptune is low vibing in the third house. Rumors could circle and lies could circle all the way back around and cause trouble at work, especially if you work in the education system, because these things are linked to the third house. Leaky lips sink ships is the saying. And in truth, rumors at school at this time could cause quite a stir as they diffuse from one department to the other. Likewise, you may have the uncanny ability to quietly pick up on what others are thinking without really listening to what's being said, because your intuition could be also heightened at this time. Okay. Now, you will have to weigh out what everyone says while seeking for the truth. And this is my original truth card, the Ace of Swords. You can see there's light all around it. It's piercing the sky. It's crowned by glory. This is like the truth sayer's card right here. And the reason you're going to have to really watch for this is because when Neptune's in the third, you're going to have a lot of scam artists that could be lurking in your neighborhood, or calling you via telemarketers or various computer hustlers. So be cautious of clicking links, because malware could readily download bad stuff onto your computer, messing up this clear and concise information. And even siblings and cousins could prove problematic. So be cautious at this time of any business negotiations or arrangements you make with them, especially as Neptune is swimming through the third on a low vibe. This could prove to be very difficult time for people like online salesmen, for example, or telephone marketers as well. Okay. Now, emotional turmoils and neurological disorders could also crop up if you have become overstressed or experienced some kind of accident. And this is kind of like the disappointment upside down card. It's like emotional unfulfillment, things not going well. Of course, when we're sick and ill, we feel upside down like this, right? So nervous breakdowns could happen, bouts of epilepsy could occur, or other diseases of the nervous system, because all of these things are ruled by Gemini, and Gemini rules the third house. So see, we're learning astrology together. Now, certainly, with Neptune in the third house, it pays to not only weigh out your thoughts and words carefully. And here you can see this woman has a sword, right? She's emerging from the clouds. She's coming out into the daylight, and it's like she's fighting very hard for the truth. And that's because she's thinking about, weighing out her thoughts and words carefully, and also the need to take care of mental health to come into the daylight here. And that's really important when Neptune's in the third, because otherwise you could find yourself with this placement whiling away the hours in a mental haze of darkness, lost in the sea of your own mind. All right, I hope that was enlightening for Neptune in the third. We'll do Neptune in the second tomorrow. I hope the other lessons are helping. And yes, I'm going to work at being more compassionate. And I hear there's a woman named Christine with me, and she has said that this same problem happens with the armed forces. And so, we need to start standing up for things that are just out of control. A lot of it comes down to the abuses of power and not thinking about human beings as actual human beings, right? To circle a person's shower for what? National security, really? And then sell that all over? This secret selling group, this is your warning call. This stuff must stop. So, and again, you're causing harm, bodily harm, mental harm, spiritual harm. Okay? I'm part of your clan. This is unacceptable behavior. And I am going to cause a shitstorm bigger than you can imagine. And it's not with malice, it's to clean up the universe, because these kinds of things shall not pass. All right. God bless. I hope you're not one of the ones that took money. If you are, you've got troubled days ahead. All right. I love y'all. Peace, blessings. And thank God for a true, loving, and beautiful deity in our world. And for my atheist friends, for your higher morality. All right. Take care. Love you too, Christine.